welcome to Cooking with Cori. I'm your host, Chef Cori Dern, and I'm also a proud media spokesperson for Foodland, Ontario, where we all know good things grow. Today I'm making a really delicious, easy meal. It's called sheet pan turkey dinner. It is super duper yummy, super duper easy, and is filled with the beautiful bounty that is Ontario flavors. So for this, the very first thing I want to do is tell you very quickly about the ingredients that I'm going to be cooking with. But because I'm going to be making a sauce and that's going to take the most amount of time, I'm going to add equal parts fat and flour. And equal parts fat and flour. Like right now, I'm melting my butter in my pan. Just going to get it a little saucy. And then I'm going to add my flour. And what I want to do is not only incorporate the fat and the flour for this sauce, but I want to cook out the raw smell that flour has. And you're going to notice that while I start this, it's going to be chunky, as you can see right here, just incorporating all the bits of butter with the flour, letting it go down. You can melt the butter all the way. You can add the two together just like I did. It's up to you. But what you want is to keep it blonde. This roux is blonde in color. And you don't want it to smell of raw flour. You want it to smell a little nutty. And if it smells a little nutty, then you know it's perfect. So you want it to smell like me, a little nutty. So for this very easy peasy sheet pan turkey dinner, I've got some beautiful Ontario squash. I've got some corn, and for ease, you could use frozen corn. I've got beans as well, frozen beans. Check the Foodland Ontario seasonal availability guide, and that'll let you know what's in season. Because if you go with what's in season growing in Ontario, you already know that your food is going to be fabulous. So here I've got my green beans, I've got my corn, I have some beautiful Ontario leek right here. This is one lovely Ontario leek. All you need for this recipe, though, are the light green, like the pale green parts, and the white parts. Anything that's dark green, you don't need. In fact, save it for making a stock another day. I also have one egg here, an Ontario egg, in fact, so that I can do my wash. In front of me, I've got some beautiful puff pastry and some cooked diced Ontario turkey. So right now, as you can see, my roux, my fat and my flour are hanging out. It does not smell like it is raw flour anymore, and that really is the goal. You want to make sure that that raw flour smell is gone. Why, you ask? Because if it smells like raw flour, it's going to taste like raw flour. So to this, I am going to add, very slowly, some chicken stock. And if you pay attention to this, you're going to see it's going to get thick really fast. So I want to whisk, 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 because I don't want there to be any lumps in this sauce. So whisking, whisking, whisking to get rid of the lumps. Here we go, adding some more of my stock. Whisk, whisk, whisk. And what I'm going to do is, after I finish incorporating all of my chicken stock, or you know what, if you've got those turkey bones in the freezer, or chicken bones in the freezer, now's that perfect time to grab that stock you made during the holidays, or any kind of family time where you got a turkey out, and then just whisk. You'll see that there are no more lumps. But what I do want to do is bring this right up to the boil, because that roux, and the rule is hot roux, cold liquid, or cold roux, hot liquid. So while this is hanging out, I've preheated my oven, and I preheated it because I want to roast these vegetables first. So I've added my squash, my lovely Ontario squash, and my Ontario leeks. I'm going to add my beans. You can use cut beans or whole beans. It's totally up to you. And some corn. There we go. And just move this out of the way. And to that, this is going to thicken up really fast. I'm going to add some dried rosemary. I like to break it down a bit. And fresh thyme. If a recipe says dried thyme, you want to use 3 times the amount of fresh, not the reverse. I've got a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper, except I did that in the reverse order. And I have some oil. And what I want to do is just mix this up, just like that, and then put it onto my sheet pan. And then it's going to go into the oven, and it's only going to roast for about, I'm going to say 20 minutes. You want to keep an eye on it. just so that it doesn't burn. Just going to put this here and get it nice and spread out. And it is a foil wrap pan, which makes life a lot easier. There we go. And into the oven this is going to go. So while it's in the oven, you're making your sauce, and it would take about that amount of time. I'm going to say from the time you're roasting your veggies in the oven to the time you're making this beautiful sauce. And you know what? Even to make it even more flavorful, I'm just going to add the rest of the seasonings into this sauce just because it adds a nice depth of flavor to it. And it's going to get nice and thick. And once it gets nice and thick, I'm going to keep it going here. You can actually see the body. You see what I mean by it's not as liquidy as the stock was. Once it gets nice and thick, you're going to take your roasted veggies out of the oven, and you're going to say, oh no, my veggies are stuck to my tin foil. What do I do? Well, this is what you do. You put your turkey on, which is what I can do now. Or you can put the turkey in the sauce. It's totally up to you. Because again, a recipe is a guideline, and it's your kitchen. So you do it however you want to do it because it's your kitchen. And you put your beautiful turkey that's already cooked on top of your beautifully roasted veggies. And then you take this gorgeous sauce that is now nice and thick. Kind of, it should be gravy-like. And as soon as that hot sauce hits this pan, these veggies are going to lift up. And then you're going to roll out your puff pastry, which is what I'm doing right now. I've got it nicely rolled out. And I'm going to cut it into 8 bits, just like this. And then put it nicely on top of my sheet pan. You're going to want to prick it with a fork so that it doesn't blow up. I didn't do that right now here, but you're definitely going to want to prick it with a fork. And then put it in the oven to bake until everything is nice and golden brown. And when that happens, guess what it looks like? It looks just like this. How gorgeous is this? If you want this recipe, you should go to foodlandontario.ca, or you can go to my website, Chef Cori. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.